Hey gang, it's Jeff, your favorite Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert, coming at you today from the car, back fresh from Texas. We had a week in the Lone Star State. Had a great time with a convention for work, and spent a few days before that for my birthday in Austin, the city we used to live in. And in case anyone's wondering, yes, I am 29. Again, we'll just leave it at that. I want to talk a little bit today about due diligence and what due diligence means in our state in North Carolina, and what is a due diligence fee. We work with a lot of out-of-state buyers, people that are coming from California, New Jersey, New York, pretty much all over the country. Oregon was probably that was one of our really fun ones. But they ask questions and want to understand what due diligence is. So I thought maybe I would just cover it here in hopes of educating somebody else that hasn't reached out yet. So in North Carolina, we have a due diligence period. When you write an offer to purchase and contract a home in North Carolina, you can give a due diligence fee during your due diligence time frame. So what does that mean? It's not required, but it is. Unfortunately, it was used as a bargaining chip for a lot of people when the market was as hot as it was. People were doing $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 in due diligence because that due diligence fee is non-refundable. If you walk away from the house for any reason, you don't get that money back. It goes directly to the seller. Your earnest money deposit could potentially be safe as long as if you decided to walk away, it was during your due diligence time frame. But that due diligence fee, like I said, goes directly to the seller. So what does that do? Why are we giving the seller guaranteed money? That gives me no bargaining leverage. That gives me nothing to fall back on. Basically, the seller can take my money and refuse to do anything, and it's a lose-lose for the buyer, and a win-win for the seller. But the due diligence fee, it used to be, $250 to $300 a week. That was before the market really exploded and took off and did this crazy thing that it did over the last 2 years. And it's renting time, basically, is the easiest way to put it, for the seller to take their house off of the market. Off of the market meaning that it is under contract. Now you can put it in under contract, no show status, meaning nobody else can look at it, or it can be in an under contract show status, which all that means, if you see something that says under contract show, just means that they're looking for a backup offer, because deals do fall through from time to time. And if you have an offer in backup, it's just more solid for the seller. So your due diligence fee, we're asking them to, yes, accept our contract. These are the terms. We're going to do a 10-day due diligence period. We're going to do a 14-day due diligence period. During that time, we're doing our inspections. We're doing the septic inspection, if you're on septic, pool, home inspection, radon, pest. During that time period, we're also putting together, once we get these inspection reports back, a due diligence repair agreement. These are things that we're going to ask the seller to either repair or give a monetary compensation for, whether it's money off of the closing costs, whether it's a reduction in the purchase price. And normally what we would do is have one of our contractors or someone that we work with to go through and evaluate the things that were found in the inspection and say, okay, so it's going to cost us $1,200 to fix this. And then that's how we would come up with that dollar amount. But, how is your money protected in the due diligence period? If there's something that we come across during an inspection that's a material fact that was not disclosed by the seller, we would then have an opportunity to try to get the diligence fee back, but it's not a guarantee, because the seller can claim that they didn't know or whatever. Let's be honest, most people are honest, and they want to get their house sold. They're not just trying to take due diligence money from people and crazy. I don't know, maybe some of them are. I wouldn't do that. But my job as your agent, when you choose to work with me, is I'm going to look for anything on the property disclosures when we're doing showings, walking through the property. I'm going to look for something that stands out to me as a red flag, something that could be of concern, and we'll then adjust our due diligence offering fee. We're going to adjust that based on things that, you know, I think could potentially become an issue during inspections. And a lot of times it's not. But most sellers, and if the agent on the other side is doing their job, they have explained this to their seller. Most sellers are going to expect, you know, 2 negotiations. First one is going to be on you know, purchase price, due diligence fee, due diligence time frame, earnest money deposit, you know, closing time frame, things like that. The second negotiation is going to be when it comes to repairs. So let's say in North Carolina, the average property inspection, home inspections, you know, 35 to 40 pages long. That can be a little overwhelming, but it's everything under the sun. If the inspector flips a light switch and the light doesn't come on, he's got to put on there that you need to have a licensed contractor take a look, when it could just be a light bulb. They're just not allowed to check those things. So when we get those reports back, those 35 to 40 pages, we're going to go through and we're going to pick out the things that as the buyer you are most concerned about. We're going to go to the seller and say, okay, we're concerned with A, B, and C, and we would like you to do A1, B1, and C1 to correct these deficiencies, or just give us, you know, however much money back in repairs. So that's usually the second negotiation. In North Carolina, the sellers don't have to do anything. It is a buyer beware state, which again goes back to why it's important to have an agent that knows what they're doing and works hard. YouTube is a great place to find those agents. I'm hoping that clears it up a little bit for some people. You know, if you like what you hear, April and I work very, very hard to educate our consumers, because we want people to know what they're getting into. But if you like what you hear, like what you see from us, please subscribe to our page. It's funny, I'm driving April's car today. You can see in the background, it's our logo on everything on the back of the car. That's how some people choose to get in touch with us. Other fine people like yourselves watch our videos and reach out that way. So like, subscribe, check us out. We will catch y'all later.